One hot summer night in August, I believe, of 2007, I was introduced to a young man named ZABAR. And the first words out of my mouth were, I have a dream, and that would be to have a New York Disabilities Film Festival. And what was so wonderful was Yitzi's immediate response. He said, that's about the most important thing I could do. And I said, we're gonna do it. And literally a year and 1 month later, we had the first annual Real Abilities Film Festival.
When I think of Real Abilities and a number of programs at the JCC, inclusivity comes to mind. We have always welcomed everyone, celebrated everyone, and I think we're a better people for it and community for it.
For me, Real Abilities is really personal because actually the first time I ever spoke publicly was as a discussant for a film about Miss Wheelchair America, and it was on the topic of beauty.
I guess when I think about the Jewish community being historically marginalized for eons, it seems like a natural fit to lift up another people, and the JCC being a community space that's uplifting, uplifting to the disability community.
And I approached and said, let's just fund, let's sponsor, right, Real Abilities and see what it does. And what it did was it started to open up a conversation within the organization. And so then that's how we ended up over the years continuing to expand that role.
It's not only about the films, it's also about the panels and the convenings and the questions and the discussions.
We thought this is what we want our mission to include as part of the kind of work we're doing. We feel like this fit in beautifully in terms of the human spirit, the human connection.
One of the things that Real Abilities has done, or is continuing to do, because it's not easy, is changing the perception of disabilities.
The New York City Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities goal is to make New York City the most accessible city in the world. And the reason why I think Real Abilities aligns with us so much, because they are a festival that's fully accessible. And being able to do it in person, and now shifting to the virtual world and showing everybody how accessible a film festival should be, really aligns with our office perfectly.
The other day, I was looking out my window and I saw on the terrace below Heidi jumping up and down with her 2-year-olds in twos together on the terrace. And I just thought, that's Heidi, jumping up and down, enthusiastic, jumping in, willing to help, willing to get you to giggle, willing to get you to commit. That's Heidi.
The family that I found here was a crucial and critical and extremely important part of my own parenting process, and helping to foster that for other families in our neighborhood, I think is one of the best things that I do as an employee here and also as a lay leader here.
It's so much fun to work with Heidi. She has so much energy and we have a great time, and I hate speaking in public and she loves it, so it was great.
She is so passionate about inclusion, and she was with Jordana, one of the real early founders of this film festival, and helped create the foundation on which everything grew.
I think Jordana wakes up every morning asking the question, what can I do to help today? And if she's not helping, she's looking for a way to help.
She leads with love. Her whole heart is in what she does.
One of our greatest partnerships was when we got the Jumbotron in Times Square. And it actually cost a little money because we had to get the tech around it. But Reuters gave us their Jumbotron, which is 4 or 5 stories in Times Square. Everybody I've ever gone to, they try and figure out something, some way that they can get involved, do something. And it means the world to us, and it raises awareness and brings 20% of the population that's just left out and not included to be included.
She pours her heart into this effort because she sees the staff pouring their heart into this effort, and that's what makes it so beautiful.
the motive is so clear. It's with love for the right reason or in order to get to a better end.
Jordana and I have become such good friends. She is one of my best friends in life, and I don't know how I would get through various aspects of my life without Jordana.
Congratulations, Jordana. Thank you for all you've done for the JCC, and thank you for being the best sister a girl could ask for. I love you.
Lynn is just a bag of enthusiasm about everything, and that's very contagious as well.
Both she and Michelle took it further than I ever did. I mean, they're on the film selection committee. They spend hours and hours viewing these movies and figuring out what they think will work in the festival.
It was amazing to see Lynn running around the fairgrounds at the opening of the Real Abilities Film Festival, which was a drive-in in Queens. The energy that was exploding from Lynn, whether she was literally hugging you or she was figuratively hugging you, for me, having not seen her physically, I just felt her energy coming at me in the most glorious way.
It doesn't feel like a volunteer job, but it feels like a real job. And I get paid in nachas and love and reciprocity. And I learn so much from being involved in this particular film festival and then watching all the other film festivals. It broadens my perspective on everything.
I think everything Michelle touches just gets bigger and better. That's my experience with her. Whether it was in the nutrition program, just got bigger and better and embedded into the life of our programming, and Real Abilities, which got bigger and better through her engagement, involvement, and support.
The educational programs that we have now really promote nutritional excellence for adults and kids and families, from athletes to seniors. And that was Michelle's vision.
Michelle always brings her A game to everything. When she commits to something, it's 100%, and her warmth and her smile and her energy is infectious.
We take about 6 to 10 social work interns a year, and we needed some extra help in supporting them. And along came Michelle FEIG, who was so excited to be a part of this. She has supervised several interns. She took a very personalized approach, as she does with everything. She really, really cares.
She's a lot of fun to partner with and to be around.
I was amazed by these films. I was amazed by listening to the questions from the people in the room, and personally, I asked so many questions that the next day, Jordana called and asked if I would be a chairperson for the next year.
I can't imagine Real Abilities being what it is without the driving force that is Yitzi.
Yitzi is Real Abilities. I mean, he has been there from ground zero. He's been an amazing leadership.
He's a nudge and wants to make sure that things get forward. He's relentless in his pursuit for accessibility, and he wants to bring everyone under the same umbrella.
I think if he was getting an award for anything, I think he'd want to be known as a family man. But it occurred to me today how much of a family Real Abilities is for him also, and how personally he takes this work.
How was it to work with him? He's a dream. He's just a dream. First of all, he's the hardest worker. And because he's so nice, he has great relations with everyone. He's even patched up relations that I have not conducted so well.
I've had the privilege of working with Yitzi for 16 years, and it's been an unbelievable journey of growth, both in terms of the size of the film program and its depth.
We knew that we wanted to have a film festival that focused on the community, that focused on partnerships that went beyond the films and really brought a message of change to our community. And that was something that really Anita's program and network with UJA Federation kicked us off in a really strong way, because we had all these amazing partnerships that came to the table.
Isaac has been a faithful leader that has never wavered in his belief that we can make a difference.
He's a filmmaker in that he selects the things that should be part of this festival, or he steers the festival on this path. And this is not the only festival he's involved in, so I know there's like a director in there somewhere too.
In the meetings of the selection committee, Isaac plays a pivotal role because his opinion about the films really affects all of us in a very positive way.
The festival really went up a notch when Jordana, Heidi, Lynn, and Michelle came on board.
We just love Real Abilities to just embrace all our peoplehood and differences and our connection.
I think that most of the impact is in the film industry, actually, to encourage film artists to bring to the screen films that are pretty much either about a disability or a general storyline where one of the characters has a disability.
And now this is a place, the JCC, that people with disabilities turn to for guidance, for ideas, for information, for help.
The JCC has been perfect with regard to the evolution of Real Abilities because it has allowed Real Abilities to find its own way.
When I grew up, I didn't see anyone like me. You know, as a half Asian girl with peepholes and CP, I didn't see other women with CP on screen. And so to see, you know, narratives of CP or any other disabilities represented, I know what that means for future generations of people with disabilities.
I think the film festival has had a big impact on people's understanding that ability exists on a spectrum and that people with disabilities are human beings, every bit as much as anyone else.
One year, we had our closing night here at the JCC, and the film was about dancing. And we had a dance party in the lobby as the closing night celebration. And one woman comes over to me during the party and she says, "Can you take pictures of my daughter dancing there in the middle of the floor? Because my daughter has cerebral palsy and she's dancing for the first time." And this is why we do Real Abilities. It's really these beautiful moments of people having the spotlight put on them for the first time, having the opportunity to feel like everybody else for the first time, seeing yourself on the screen for the first time, and feeling completely welcome and feeling a part of the celebration. And you know, this sandbox is for everybody.